deadline day today for Saudi Pro League clubs. And this story is one to keep a very close eye on today. Al-Nassr are preparing a new and improved bid for the Brighton winger Kaoru Mitoma, thought to be worth £71 million. Brighton rejected their first offer that was worth around £54 million. Time is running out for the Saudi Pro League club to get a deal done. Their window closes tonight, just before 9 o'clock this evening. Flex, morning to you. How do we think this one's going to play out?
It's big money on the table, isn't it, really? It's real big money on the table. And if we just look at it from a business perspective, we'll explore more about Mitoma and the attributes he has and how good he is for Brighton. But from a pure business perspective, Brighton have a rich history, a really good track record of selling players for the right price. They have a really good track record of bringing players in for really limited amounts. You know, some players we haven't heard of as well before in this league. The scouting and recruitment at Brighton has been absolutely brilliant. And if you just look at players like Cucurella, Bissouma, Caicedo, Ben White, they've all been let go at Brighton for significant fees. And I just wonder if that latter bid comes in, Dave, of a significant, 70-odd million quid. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for someone of Mitoma's age, and somebody that, let's be honest, if we're looking at Brighton and what they could look to invest into after that, you wouldn't bet against them finding another Mitoma fairly easily. So that's a lot of money, and I just think from a business side of view, they sell for the right price. And if Saudi come in with 70+ million, that's a difficult deal to turn down.
Brighton know what they're doing in the transfer market, that's for sure. How valuable is he to this Brighton team, Molly?
I think he's valuable not just off the pitch when it comes to the finances that they could reap from selling him to the Saudi Pro League, but on the pitch also. He started all 23 games. All 23 Premier League games under Fabian Hürzeler so far this season, scoring 5 times. So clearly, he is someone that Fabian Hürzeler sees in his plans at Brighton. That said, I don't think you can deny everything that Flex has mentioned there with regards to the value that Mitoma could add off the pitch when it comes to selling him and reaping those financial rewards. I mean, just look at some of those figures there, just how important he has been, first, second and third in various different categories, whether that be big chances created. Can you really lose a player that creates that many chances for a team like Brighton and still scores goals as he has been? That's the question. That said, it seems to be a real shift from the Saudi Pro League, doesn't there, and how they're trying to attract players. John Duran now looking to leave Aston Villa to sign a deal with Al-Nassr. It seems like there's just a little bit of a shift there in who they're trying to attract. Previously, it seemed like players who are coming towards the end of their career, and now Mitoma, John Duran, young players who seemingly have a number of years ahead of them. It's a really interesting shift from the Saudi Pro League.
What are Brighton's options within the squad that they already have? Can they cope without him?
On the face of it, Brighton have got an awful lot of attacking players, and as Flex said, they've probably got players coming through in their under-21s and youth teams that would be the next cab off the rank, so to speak, be there ready to take Mitoma's place. But I think Mitoma's at the peak of his powers. He's Premier League proven, 27 years old now, has been at Brighton for a few years and done really, really well, consistently performed to a high level for them. Would probably get into a lot of Premier League teams as well. They've got other options, but I don't think they've got that kind of genuine left winger other than Adingra. Adingra's kind of in and out the team at the moment, and I really think he's a great talent, Adingra, someone that could play every week for Brighton. Maybe that might be something that just tips them over the edge of extracting this maximum value from Mitoma now. Whilst he's 27, they might not ever get this fee again for him. Maybe letting him go and saying to Adingra, right, you're now the man, you come and play every week for us in your favoured position, down that left-hand side. But other than him, João Pedro spent a little bit of time on the left-hand side for Watford, but I think we can all agree his best work comes through the middle. He just wouldn't leave them a lot of time to get that replacement, but we know from Brian that replacement may already be there with him.
Sorry, but they bought Mitoma for $3 million in 2021.
So how much it was? 3?
$3 million. That is extraordinary.
And this
the money
is what
they
we
would
see
make
from
on
Brighton.
that deal.
This is a common theme
It is.
for Brighton. So also this is not a situation that Brighton aren't used to being in as well. Albeit, okay, it's late in the window, not long in the Saudi deadline as well. So ideally, they probably want to be in this situation with only a few days left of our window too. But in terms of somebody coming in and putting down big money on a table for a player that they've brought in for only a couple of million quid, it was, like I said, same with Caicedo, same with McAllister, etc., Cucurella, Bissouma. So we've seen it. The only thing I was thinking about is that what does the player want in this? Like you said, Mitoma is in the peak of his powers. Big contract, he's in his prime. Let's be honest, like you say, we start for a lot of Premier League teams and teams in Europe. He's been fantastic. Does he want to go to Saudi right now in his prime? Of course, a lucrative contract offer and could be the face of sort of like a changing of the guard or a changing of sort of principles of how they want to buy players, like Molly was alluding to there. What would Mitoma want out of this? Because he's been absolutely brilliant in this league. Would he want to start looking higher up the Premier League table to get in the Champions League, to compete for Premier League titles, or one of Europe's big 5 leagues?
Yeah, I think you're right to point that out, because I think sometimes people don't realise that the work that Mitoma will have put in to become a Premier League player and play at this level. We're seeing with John Duran, obviously he's happy to go to Saudi Arabia and live that life and play his football there. Someone like Mitoma, that may not be the case, because you work hard to get to this level and you want to stay there, you want to maybe progress, and he hasn't played in the Champions League. Maybe that's something he wants to do in his career. I think this is just a unique one in the terms of when we've seen Brighton let players go previously, it's been younger players. So you kind of think from their point of view, well, if they've not been afraid to do it with younger players, then the 27-year-old, they probably wouldn't be against doing that. But we also know that Brighton, they'll get the fee that they want, and it will happen at the time they want. We saw in January 23, I think it was, when Arsenal really pushed for Caicedo, but Brighton didn't really want to lose him in January. They waited to the summer and got big money for him off Chelsea that summer. They're the hardest club to negotiate with, probably in England, maybe if not one of the hardest to negotiate with in Europe.